Hello, and it's good to have you join us again on Maritime Radar. The trucking industry plays a vital role in Nigeria's economy, facilitating the movement of goods and services. The Nigerian government over the years has had several initiatives designed to curb the activities of extortionists in the maritime industry, but its impact on the haulage sector has remained unabated as the number of extortion checkpoints has doubled since 2022. The growing number of extortion points in the maritime haulage has also continued to stall both the sector and Nigeria's economy, with the perpetrators now operating openly with impunity. Assessing the rise in extortion crippling maritime haulage subsector are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I'm Norma Obiaswalo. The unchecked activities of extortionists at Lagos seaports and along the economic community of West African states corridors have severe impact on trade facilitation, seamless cargo evacuation, port security, human lives, the maritime sector, ease of doing business, the economy, and Nigeria's international image. The question will be, how has the government's intervention and calls for collaboration to address the menace at Tinkan and Apapa Port, Mile 2 Lagos-Badagry Expressway, known for this extortion, fared? According to NPA in 2022, the extortion points along the Lagos port corridors was 30, but has at today increased to about 60. NPA investigation in July 2024 also shows identified collection flashpoints collect 500 to 15,000 naira. Then from Ijora Lokpa to Apapa Port and Mile 2 to Tinkan, there are about 60 points which ensure truckers pay between 1,000 to 5,000. The most notorious checkpoints collect between 15,000 to 20,000 daily from each truck accessing the two ports in Lagos, totaling about 70,000 that some trucks pay with dangerous tactics of collection, not minding lives that may be lost. Before we get further into today's lineup on the program, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
The Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, Dr. Abubakar Dansoho, has announced that the NPA has begun implementing the federal government's directive to coordinate service provision in regards to selling crude oil and petroleum products to the Dangote refinery in Naira. Disclosing this during the interagency stakeholders meeting, Dansoho noted that the agency is setting up a one-stop shop that will coordinate service provision from all regulatory, security agencies and other stakeholders to ensure a smooth implementation of the initiative. The one-stop shop OSS team is comprised of representatives from the NPA, Nigerian Navy, NNPC Limited, Dangote Group, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Nigeria Customs Service, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, and the NDLEA. The Panama Maritime Authority has confirmed its strict policy to automatically cancel the registration of any vessel found involved in illicit activities or attempting to change its flag to evade sanctions. This action follows the recent listing of 7 Panama-flagged vessels by the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control. According to a report, these ships were accused of transporting sanctioned Iranian crude oil and liquefied petroleum gas to Syria and East Asia, allegedly on behalf of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force and Hezbollah. In response, Panama has implemented a series of measures to prevent vessels under its flag from being included in sanctions lists. The country has shifted its monitoring and control section to a newly aligned protection department under the Department of Maritime Vessel Security, which closely monitors international sanctions and merchant fleet activities. In September 2024, Panama introduced the Panama Flag Pre-Check process that sets prerequisites for flagging vessels, allowing thorough due diligence on the ship, its owner, and operator. Additionally, Panama signed the Registry Information Sharing Agreement to prevent vessels from evading sanctions by moving between registries.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Maritime Radar. The Nigerian Port Authority and Lagos State Government partnered in clearing illegal structures used as extortion points along Lagos port corridors to enhance trade facilitation and improve the security of safety of port users. The operation conducted by Nigerian Army, Navy, Police, NPA Security, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, known as LASMA, freed ports from traffic congestion but failed to address the extortion menace. Our first guest on the show, Mohammed Bala, Secretary General Association of Maritime Truck Owners, speaks on this menace and the impact of state and federal government intervention. Stay with us. It's good to have you join us on the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to meet you, to be with you here today.
Okay, so let's get right into the conversation. Looking at the challenges your association is facing, talk us through those challenges as regards the extortion happening around the port corridors.
Thank you very much. Firstly, the Association of Maritime Truck Owners, AMATO, is a unified body of transport unions association in the maritime industries that is saddled with responsibility of moving both imports and export consignment to and from different, seaports in Nigeria. So we work 24 hours under the sun in the rain in order to serve the economy, in order to link foreign buyer and local suppliers, in order to make sure that everything moves well. But unfortunately, instead of us to be rewarded with heroic and patriotic award, we now become endangered species, by different actors, in the maritime ecosystem, most especially in Lagos State. You see extortion bandits working under the names of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RATN, National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, the local government, and also some communities, intercepting our drivers on the road, brutalizing them, stabbing our tires, falling trucks that are carrying container, extorting money, and committing all sorts of atrocities, to the detriment of Nigeria's trade facilitation, seamless evacuation of cargo, the safety of our trucks, the cargo it is carrying, and also the lives of our drivers.
Okay, I also know that Shippers Council boss intervened in this issue. So yes. How has that fed your meetings with him too?
Yeah, the Shippers Council CEO, convinced of beyond reasonable doubt, he matched his word with action by reaching out to the National Security Advisor and West Lagos State government, and very soon a meeting will be held between Trucker Shippers Council and Lagos State government, concerning this issue of extortion bandits that are ravaging haulage business as well as causing loss, threatening the Nigeria trade facilitation. Okay,
another area that I want you to shed more light is your association, AMATO, has made some demands, which one of them is the enforcement of the 2004 tax and levy, which was also mentioned earlier. But there are other demands. So can you talk us through those demands that you have made to government?
The most important, number one, it has to do with banning all these extortion bandits from the road in line with, and the implementation is ongoing. We appreciate the management of Nigerian Ports Authority, the Lagos State government, the DSS, the AIG Zone 2, Lagos State Police Command. As I'm talking to you right now, there is an aggressive enforcement of ban on toll collection on the roads by the police in collaboration with other security agencies.
That is being implemented right now?
It is being implemented right now, but it is not yet an uhuru.
Okay.
Because at night, these hoodlums will come back to the roads. So we need more support. We need more support to make the enforcement a continuous exercise, so that these hoodlums will not, regroup and come back to the road at night again.
Okay, according to Nigerian Port Authority report of 2022, they found out that the report shows that these checkpoints were just about 30. But in 2024, it has grown to over 60. So that means these band perpetrators operate with severe impunity. And there are so many figures that have been banned added, from 1,000 to 5,000 to 20,000 to as much as 70,000 at each checkpoint. So I want you to shed more light on this, on the increased checkpoints and the exact amount that is being paid at these checkpoints.
Yeah, you see, when you see a bird dancing on the streets, its drummers and in the forest. All these extortion bandits that are acting with impunity along the logistics corridor have some people that are backing them up, either in the security ecosystem or from highly placed politicians. Otherwise, I don't see the reason why, despite the several letters of, complaint that we have sent to various government agencies, the number of these checkpoints, instead of them to reduce, they keep increasing on a daily basis. From Ijora Olokpa, that is Apapa Logistic Corridor, down to Apapa Port Gate, there are multiple checkpoints, over 30. And at each of these checkpoints, if you don't pay, they will not allow your truck to move. They won't allow your truck to move. And the funny aspect of it is that these hoodlums, they will invite LASMA or any government aid to come and tow away your truck if you resist to give, if your driver refuses to give them money.
And last one will come and
they will not investigate what circumstances surrounding the mobilization of that truck at that spot. They will now say you are causing obstruction. We are towing away your truck. And sometimes this hoodlum, they will deliberately immobilize this truck by cutting the hose brake, or even, bring out the driver or deflate the tire and invite LASMA to come and tow away the trucks. It has happened several times. You see? So from Ijora Olokpa down to Apapa, you have multiple checkpoints, where both governmental and non-governmental, people are collecting money, 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, depending on the mood of the person at that particular checkpoint, despite having call-up that authorizes you to access the post without any hindrance.
So is it true that there are some checking points that they collect as much as 60 or 70,000 naira? Well,
from Apapa, when we sum up everything, the Apapa Logistic Corridor, if you add everything together, you will get that around figure of 60, 70,000.
Okay, so, the 70,000 is not just in one checkpoint. There are multiple checkpoints.
Yeah, there are multiple checkpoints.
Summed up.
Yeah, summed up. You get around 70, 80,000, despite a truck driver having valid call-up. Because under the standard operating procedure of the ETO call-up is that once you have your call-up, you have to move straight into the port without any obstruction or interference on the road. But reverse is the case. Since the commencement of the call-up regime, we have been facing the challenges of extortion bandits along the port corridor.
So are you saying that the call-up regime increased these checkpoints?
Not really. It is the, how do I put it? Lack of supportive enforcement architecture. Okay. Because if we have a supportive enforcement architecture on ground, definitely there will be 100% compliance with standard operating procedure of the ETO call-up system. But the people that are supposed to enforce, the SOP themselves, are not straightforward. They are aiding and abetting all these extortion issues that we are facing.
I sincerely hope that since the state and the federal government have intervened and they are holding meetings, they've also constituted a committee to look into these issues. I hope that this will be nipped in the bud before it escalates.
I am very optimistic
to cause more economic sabotage.
Exactly.
I must thank you for your time and your thoughts on the show.
Pleasure.
We go on a break now. Ridwan Bello joins us to also shed more light on this issue. Stay with us.
Africa needs its own storytellers, people who understand the continent because they're from it. People who know that news is more than just a conversation starter, it's our stories. Because these stories run deeper than headlines and segments. It's about digging deeper to get the facts and telling the human side of every single story, not just the echoes from foreign headlines and perspectives. It's time to take back our narratives and share them in our voices. The birth of Africa's New Age reporting, and this is where it begins, right here at News Central TV, with stories that put Africa first.
Many thanks for staying with us. Ridwan Bello, he is the Vice Chairman, Association of Truck Owners, joins us to also shed more light on this subject. So it's good to have you join us on this show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your...
So looking at this rising extortion that seems to be crippling maritime haulage subsector, what do you think is the impact on your businesses?
It's been a long time coming. Over 4 years now, this extortion has been going on, and these rascals have been on the road, even on international routes, Lagos Badagry Expressway. They're there. So many investors in the haulage, subsector has left because they can't keep up with truck maintenance, and about 30% of our profit goes to the hands of these hoodlums. Because how do we...
But I think it also falls to the final consumers who also pay for
Yes,
this.
there's a multiplier effect. If the importer comes, if a container is meant to be cleared for, let's say, 1 million and is spending 2 million, definitely the final pricing will go up. There's a multiplier effect. You see videos where our drivers have been drastically, beating trucks. They keep damaging our trucks. So there's no way the money that we are meant to use to expand our businesses are the money we are using for repairs, maintenance. If their system is, when you don't give them the money, they can't hold you. They have bricks everywhere. Sometimes they shoot, and we don't know how these guys get hold of
guns and all
yes.
Is that deadly?
Yes, sometimes they use knives. They stab our drivers.
And this is daily.
Daily, yes.
Okay. You mentioned government. I know that the ministers of transportation and marine and blue economy called you guys to meeting and constituted a committee to look into this issue. Do you see sincerity in government to address this issue?
Well, for the shortest time, in the longest time that we've been on this struggle, I think this is the first time that the government seems a bit, concerned and sincere.
Do you think it's because of your strike threat?
Yes. That's the only,
language they seem to understand.
I've been on the forefront. I've been on the forefront of protest, and let's give them a stipulated period of time. If it is not done, then we go on strike. We're down 2. I know that is the only way the government would be more concerned, because it's a 20 billion
annually.
Naira daily.
Daily.
Yes, from the port. Nigeria is a coastal country where maritime strives, and our only gateway to the economy, to the international world, is the maritime space. 80% of the export comes from the port. Oil and gas. These are critical investment area where the government doesn't need to joke about. If there is any challenges they should be fast and swift to address it. We don't have to get to the
point of issuing strike threats and all that
before we get
the two menaces that you see on the port corridors used to be the traffic congestion, then this extortion. So do you mean that the Nigerian Army, Navy, Police, MPA Security, LASMA only solved the gridlock issue and left the extortion out of it?
The extortion is still there. They are still there. And that's why I've always said that the promise made by government, to remove the gridlock has been achieved. But they left the extortion because the people that are making this money are still
Which
there.
is worse for you?
when there was gridlock, we were making more money.
Oh.
That's the truth.
Oh.
Because unfortunately, it shouldn't be like that. But let's say we do 3 trips in a week. When there was gridlock, we do 1 trip in a week.
So you charge the 3 trips in 1 trip?
In 1 trip.
So there's no loss?
There is no loss. You understand? And as at that time, if we are able to do 2 trips in 1 week, we have more money to save. But as at now, when the introduction of the call-up system was on board, there was just a drastic nosedive in our haulage rate. Where we go for 500,000 is now 200,000, with higher cost of maintenance. You know what the dollar is saying now. I think I can beat my chest that the haulage sector is the only sector in Nigeria that everything is going up and our own haulage rate is going down.
Why so?
It's unfortunate. It's because we don't have this unity amongst our members. But we're working on that, and that's why we have all adopted Amatu as the unified body so that we can pursue our challenges. If there is a way the government will intervene, we'll put it to them. And if there is a way we can, interact within ourselves and find a lasting solution, which is even about this haulage rate. The Shippers Council is also helping us to look into it, where we'll have a uniformed haulage rate that will cover, that would cover for our expenses, and we'll be able to have some sort of reasonable profit to keep.
Okay, looking at Nigerian Port Authority report of 2022 says this checkpoint is about 30, but it has increased to over 60 now. Do you think that these perpetrators operate with impunity? That's one leg of the question. Then the second leg is there are so many figures out there, from 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 to 60 and as much as 70,000 be paid at these checkpoints. So can you shed more light to this?
So the unions in the area of NURTW, RITIAN, these guys are meant to collect dues from their members who are commercial buses and shuttle buses, all these small tricycles. But as at that time where there was gridlock, because I was able to interview one of them, that why are you acting this way? Why are you beating our drivers? Why are you damaging our trucks? And he said, you guys block the way where our members, can have their own means of, daily bread. Okay, I said to him that if we're able to clear the gridlock, will you people stop? But they didn't stop, because from their members, they can only collect 200, 500. But from truckers, they collect one checkpoint, one critical checkpoint along Lagos Badagry Expressway, collect 5,000. 5,000 times 100 trucks. Do you know how much that is? Times 1 month. That's running to billions. And this money is going to private pockets. In fact, there is a particular traditional ruler along that axis that has made billions of naira.
Out of this criminality?
Yes. Over 60 checkpoints.
So as a player or an operator in haulage business in Nigeria, so what do you think is the way forward?
The way forward is government sincerity. If there is no sincerity of purpose, then we are not on the round table yet, and all hands must be on deck. And that's why we have shown the government total cooperation. For how long the Tinkan gridlock was there, and it took us to just talk to ourselves with government enforcement that, guys, let's be sincere. If you don't move away from that road, if they come to tow your truck, nobody will come to your aid. Look at Tinkan Road. It was cleared within 2 days, and that gridlock was there for 4 years. So, the sincerity of purpose from the government and from us as well. Are we ready to abide and
cooperate with government to ensure
for national interests? And that's why you see the Tinkan as is cleared of all gridlock. From mile 2 to Tinkan, you can just drive within 3 minutes, you get to Tinkan. And this used to be 5 hours. Sometimes a day, you will not even get to Tinkan because some of our members blocked the way. And also, I've been an agitator of truck parks. We should have ultra-modern truck parks where governments would give our drivers that sense of belonging to park their trucks, where they can do checkup, where they can have, resting time. The environment is hostile to our drivers, to be honest. It's hostile. Why will a driver sleep in the truck for 3 days before he gets into the port and still get beaten, and injured by unknown area boys? These are the realities of the challenges in the haulage sector. And we want to give special thanks to the Nigerian Port Authority, the Lagos State government, and also the special advisor to the governor on transportation. He's been helpful, but we need more support because those guys are still there. They are still operating at night. The CP has engaged us with its tactical team. They are doing wonderful. We appreciate that, but we need more of their support.
Government sincerity is needed for national interest and the cooperation of this association and truck owners to be able to ensure that this menace is brought to an end. I must thank you, Ridwan Bello. It's been Ridwan Bello, Vice Chairman, Association of Maritime Truck Owners. I also thank Mohammed Sani Bala for also sharing his thoughts on the show. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
We keep talking about this. We keep bringing this to the fore to ensure that until it is eradicated, just the way the congestion was. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me on the show.
And that's a wrap on this week's episode. I hope this episode was able to assess the rising extortion checkpoints that are crippling the maritime haulage subsector. Join us every week on Maritime Reader as we explore factors that will ensure the development of the maritime sector in Africa. You can also expect the latest in global maritime news and industry insights right here. I'm Norma Obiaswalo. Many thanks for your time and see you again next week.